Rue, the currency printing firm, has been in the news for the last 1 month for all the wrong reasons. And today, the firm, after several sessions carried out in Parliament, sought to clear the air on a joint venture it has with the government of Kenya. According to them, the deal began in 2007, and if their word is anything to go by, the deal was above board and the government of Kenya must stick to it. The decision leaves the government in a tricky position on whether to continue with the deal, which it intends to buy a 40% stake in the firm, even as former finance minister, currently handling transport, Amos Kimunya, chickened out on a date with the MPs investigating the deal.
We have a responsibility to our shareholders, so it would be foolish to say that if there wasn't a business case to retain our operation here in Kenya, then obviously that would be an option, and that continues to be an option.
I think it's certainly highly likely that if the joint venture doesn't proceed, then Rue would not continue to print banknotes here, essentially because there are other governments around the world who would be interested in this kind of investment.
During his briefing by the Public Accounts Committee last week, Central Bank of Kenya Governor Professor Njuguna Ndung'u distanced himself and the CBK from the deal, for which no feasibility study was done, saying it would not guarantee the firm the business of printing Kenya's currency, raising further eyebrows about the deal. However, in its presentation today, the currency and security printer defended its proposed joint venture with Treasury, saying the government would recover its initial investment within 3 years. The period for the return on investment is based on projections that earnings before interest and tax would be £4.7 million in the coming financial year, rising to £5 million in the 2013-2014 fiscal period and to £5.3 million a year later. This would offset the initial £5 million the government is investing for the 40% stake in Rue.
Rue, because Rue is not trying to fleece the Kenyan taxpayer or whatever it is. I think Mark, in his presentation, when we put this presentation together, we wanted to make it very clear what we're talking about here, because people have jumped to a lot of wrong conclusions about comparing apples with apples. Right now, there was a very different issue to do with the new generation production of notes abroad, and then the interim production of notes here in the UK, here in Kenya. And I think Mark did a good job there.
Among the terms of the joint venture, Rue will be seeking a 10-year binding contract to print the new generation currency. However, Professor Ndung'u indicated that CBK, acting as an independent organ, would still seek competitive bidding for currency printing. Michael Karanja, KTN Business Today.